We are live here, park right here with Tom and Katrina, and our special guest today is Larry Gifford, another OG.
Hello.
OG.
What's an OG?
He's the OG, the old goat.
Oh, the old goat. Okay.
Original gold, I'll call him. He had one of the very first, I guess, the very first, if not the first, podcast for a personal journey of Parkinson's, called "When Life Gives You When Life Gives You Parkinson's." And I guess you make lemonade.
Well, you can,
or
you can make a podcast.
Yep. And so he was looking for a podcast, and he didn't find one, so he made one. So. And I know I was looking for one, and I found his, and so I made mine, and it just kind of spiraled from there.
Yeah.
And
I still got pulled in.
First time I ever met him was at a Michael J. Fox conference. He was emceeing and hosting that, and he was really nice to me, and he gave me some contacts and helped me along my journey. And now he is one of the co-founders of PD Avengers, along with Shaughnessy, that we had a couple weeks ago. And love to hear about his journey. So I'll hand it over to Tom. Do you have any questions?
I just want to say, after reading your bio and reading the PD Avengers, I just stand in the shadow of greatness. What you're doing is just incredible. So if you don't mind me saying that, I had to get that in
a village.
Plus, you're a new DBSer. You're a new DBS.
Yeah, it's coming up on a year in October, but it's my DBS is working good.
Do you watch that TV series Yellowstone?
No.
You know the Yellowstone series?
Yeah, I know the series. I haven't watched it.
Well, there's a part in it when you become part of the Yellowstone, they brand you. I mean, they literally in the show they brand you with the Y for Yellowstone. Parkinson's has a similar thing, but they give you the little devil horns.
Devil horns and a scar.
Yeah, two. I got two.
Yeah.
And now I've lost so much weight. You can if I turn this way, you see my wire.
Nice.
Yep.
So my question to you is, what prompted you to start the podcast? I mean, it sounds like your background just naturally led yourself down that path.
Yeah, I've been in radio. Well, I was in radio for 30 some years, both on the air and off. And I was looking for a podcast to listen to like a patient perspective, so I could hear from somebody like me. And I couldn't find one. And so after a while, I go, well, I have the resources, and I was listening to Dr. Dorsey actually on Michael J. Fox podcast. He goes, if people with Parkinson's don't start sharing their stories, we'll never get enough attention to raise enough money to do enough research to end this. I thought, well, I'm a storyteller. I have been all my life. I've got the equipment. I've got the know-how. If I don't do this, and it's that easy for me to do, how can I expect anybody else to do it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that.
Yep. And you influenced me, and I'm sure you've influenced others as well.
Well, I hope we've passed the torch, and we spawn 100 podcasts. That'd be great.
That would be awesome.
Well, it's interesting how we all become our own advocates, if you will, for Parkinson's, because we want to share the knowledge. Before I got overly involved, a very simple thing. It's called the little button. Let's see if you can see it here. Oh God, I hate lighting.
Yeah.
It says the 110 Club. There you go. It's got a bicycle in the 110 Club. So I was going to the YMCA with my normal Parkinson's, doing pedaling for Parkinson's. And in the room, there was a reader for a decibel count, because people would tend to yell and they wanted to make sure you knew how loud you were. So we were doing the big and loud. We'd be riding our bikes and we'd say A-E-I-O-U. And I noticed that the decibel reader started going up a little bit. And I'm like, because I'm an instigator, I said, man, we can do better than like 80. So we said a little bit louder. We hit 90. And someone said, Tom, you got the biggest mouth. Why don't you sit up front? We hit 110 decibels. And that place just erupted. I mean, it was like 20 of us. You think we won the Super Bowl. And I started thinking to myself, if a little gesture like that can make somebody laugh and have for a few minutes not have Parkinson's, I need to do something. And that was kind of like my foray into advocacy world with Parkinson's.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, because it's
and I got like 40 of these made, and I gave them out to 40 people. Oh, this is the last one.
Oh, nice. Well, it's those little things that make all the difference, right? I do improv for Parkinson's, and so with a troupe of people with Parkinson's that does improv comedy, we did it in Barcelona last year. It was amazing. Like we're on stage in Barcelona doing improv, and it's like, how'd that happen?
Oh yeah.
And then how did PD Avengers start? Because I know that's a couple of years now, right?
Yeah, so that's going on 4 years now. And during the pandemic, when the book Ending Parkinson's Disease came out, we started to, I invited a bunch of people, and so did Tim and Tim Haig and Sonia Mather. We invited some people onto a call that we had met at the World Parkinson Congress the summer before. And we wanted to do like a book club type thing. So just get an idea of what people thought of the book and what can we embrace.
Was that Dr. Oakham?
Dr. Oakham, Dr. I got it right here. Todd Shear, Michael Oaken, Boz Bloom, and Ray Dorsey.
Okay.
I had that book, yes.
Yeah,
it's a good one. They're going to do an update soon, but that book was just coming out, and so we asked people to read the book and then come to the call, but we didn't tell anybody who was going to be on the call. So we had about 15 people show up, and we're like, "Hey, you're here! Hey, that's great! It's nice to meet you." Blah blah blah. And somebody goes, "I feel like I'm at a superhero conference." And somebody goes, "Yeah, we're like the Avengers." And somebody goes, "We're the PD Avengers." And that was before the call began. And I just wrote it down on the top of the note paper as sort of a holding piece. And we never came up with a better name. So
was Gary
because I'm a big fan of the Marvel Avengers.
Yeah.
Was Gary
the concept's the same. The concept is the same. It's we all bring our own superpowers to the table. Whatever it is we do, the people say, "Hey, you're so great at that. I can't believe it. Can you do that for me?" Whatever that skill is that you provide, that people think, "Oh, you're so good at that." And you're like, "Yeah, it's easy. It's just what I do." That's your superpower. And if we bring everybody's superpowers to the table, we can move mountains.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. I find sometimes that, like I said, I love humor, but sometimes I find myself just sitting back and listening and waiting for something that sort of gel in my mind that's really maybe not funny, but when you take two opposing concepts, you put them together and you can see the humor in that. That's what I love to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, definitely. It's Davis Finney's taught me a lot. I've been ambassador for a little over a year now, and then I just recently became on the board of directors for APDA for Virginia. Because I'm out here, it's like a resource desert. I mean, and Appalachia, of course. I mean, there's nothing. There's no Rocksteady. There's no peddling for Parkinson's. There's nothing. We don't even have a neurologist at our hospital over here. I was actually in there with my husband, and they told me just because of DBS, they won't even give me an EKG in the ER.
No.
I mean, I was talking to the medical director, and he said he's terrified of this thing.
Really?
He just
turn it off.
I know. I told him that, and he just, because one of mine sticks out a little bit. It protrudes, and he's just like, he's terrified. I mean, of even putting a stethoscope near it. I mean, I'm like, really?
A stethoscope?
Yeah.
Like the electric stethoscope that shoots out like rays of.
See, because you can see it like protrude.
Yeah, mine sticks out a little bit too. But.
Yeah, I mean it's like, oh, and
what about leeches? Do you say no leeches either? Because it sounds like they're practicing no medication. They're so afraid of everything.
And so, luckily, I have a wonderful primary care doctor. He's a younger guy, and he's wonderful. He even knew about Ambrosia and everything. So I mean, and that's a lot saying back here. Luckily, I go to University of Virginia Medical Center, which is about 4 hours away for care. And they have a good DBS clinic.
Still too far.
Yeah. Well, I heard.
How far do you have to go?
How far do I have to go? like 25 minutes.
Yeah, because you live in Canada now, right?
Yeah, I live in Vancouver, Canada. So I go to the University of British Columbia for my treatments.
Well, I heard really good news. My the guy in the DB that runs, or my doctor in the DBS clinic at UVA, is moving out to Roanoke, which is about 2.5 hours away. So
That's good.
At least that's a little closer, and that's an APDA. I'm the Western representative now for the Western part of Virginia, so that's really good. So that's going to help, at least financially, help me get some resources out here. Like, well, pedaling for Parkinson's, Davis Finney owns the rights to now. And they're at a lot of YMCAs. So there's actually a YMCA about 20 minutes from here. So I want to try to get pedaling for Parkinson's out there and try to get some of the physical therapists, like for PWR, get them certified on that and get, some. And I'd love to have like a little community center because out here, there's not a lot of people have home internet because, especially older people, and, maybe have an internet cafe or something. And so they can see webinars and, get more connected to that way. So we'll see how it goes, but I'll have to, here you have to have family connections and, that, which is good because my mother was born and raised here. And, my dad was born and raised next county over. Actually, my dad's sister married my mom's uncle first, and that's how my parents met.
You're turning your West Virginia on right now.
Yeah, so when my parents got married, my dad's sister became his aunt by marriage, and my mom's uncle became her brother-in-law by marriage. Yeah. I am not joking. That is straight up. And I told my mom, I said, Mom, I said, you want to hear something? I said, when your dad's sister becomes his aunt by marriage and your mom's uncle becomes her brother-in-law, you might be a redneck. And
yeah.
And she goes, no, it's normal back there. I'm like, no, Mom, it's not normal. It's not normal. But yeah, that's just the way things are in my life.
That's great.
So Larry, I have a question for you. You just said the DBS. What was your thought process behind that? What was the pathway you took and, deciding that I need to go to DBS route?
Well, when I was diagnosed, I said, there's no way in hell I'll ever do it.
That's what Tom says.
And
same here.
And then my symptoms got so bad that I would do anything. I was on 21 pills a day, just levodopa. I'm down to a half pill in the morning and a half pill at night now. That's great. They said it wouldn't alleviate my neuropathy, but it did. They said it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, no, I mean, my neuropathy was screaming hot and pain and like all day long, nonstop. And and it's just exhausting. Everything was effortful. I used to walk with walking poles. I haven't used them since the surgery. Mm-hmm. I just feel like I have more freedom, more independence, I started driving again. I had stopped driving because I didn't trust myself. There's some things like my voice cuts out after a while. So I get this soft, raspy voice, but if I put on an accent or if I put on my radio voice, I can cut through it. And then there's some executive functioning that could be sharper, but
yeah,
I don't, you don't know if that's age or Parkinson's, which bucket to put
or
it
both.
in. Yeah.
Or a mix of both.
I was diagnosed when I was 56, 9 years ago, so I consider myself a tweener. I'm not quite YOPD, but I'm not quite the, at the time of diagnosis, the old grandfather type. But
yeah, I was 45.
I feel fortunate. I'm mostly tremor-based, which is maintained by. Wow. But you mentioned the neuropathy in your leg. This is because this is live radio. Actually, we don't hide anything. I wear like a compression sleeve on my left leg.
Yeah.
Because when when I can tell when my off time is coming because I get that pain in the muscle. It just starts to become like a throbbing pain.
I get that at
And for
night
reasons I still haven't figured out yet is putting the compression sleeve on seems to make the pain go down like 3 or 4 levels.
Oh, good. Well, don't ask why, just do it.
I have this crazy theory that the body doesn't recognize pain unless the nerve system tells it there's pain. So if you're putting the compression sleeve on, it's sort of compressing the nerves. So it's sending less information to the brain. It's kind of like a hose. You compress the hose, less comes out. That's my theory. No one seems to actually say it's right, but no one says it's wrong either. All I know is it works.
I'll say that's exactly correct. Until somebody proves you wrong.
So how is it different? And do you have any trouble getting meds in Canada or anything?
The only problems we have is getting like the different variations. So like we don't have Abrija, we don't have we just have the pills, and so they're slow on the uptake of new forms of medication. I had to wait 4 years for my DBS surgery.
Oh wow!
Because we had one neurologist in British Columbia that did the neurosurgery.
Oh wow!
And now we have 2, which is better, but still not serving the population like we should be. But yeah, it's all in all, I've never seen a doctor's bill.
Right. True.
So I've had it for 7 years.
Oh, that's great.
Even the surgery, it was, it's all covered.
Yeah. My husband was active duty military, and he's like, get it done now.
Yeah, universal healthcare. It's the same kind of deal. It's we pay for it in taxes.
Are you able to use that and go into the Oh, sure. But would you been able to get your DBS done in the States under that, or you have to have it done in the Canadian hospital?
No, I'd have to have it done in the Canadian provinces because the states don't recognize it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And that's why I feel spoiled because of military. I have military insurance. My husband's retired now, so we do have a copay. But he said before we get out, before I retire and everything's free while I'm active duty, he's like, I had to have heart surgery before I had DBS because I had a murmur and I had little tiny holes in the back of my heart. So they had to put a mesh in there to plug up the holes. And so I had that in February 2021. And then July was the place. I actually had the robotic DBS where I was asleep. I got to sleep through it all.
Cool.
Robotic put it in, and he's Dr. Van Sickle was the one that actually came up with the robotic DBS. He does it more than any doctor in the world. He's outside of Denver, and then I got August they put the generators in. I have 2 separate systems, and then September 1st they put it. I was like you. I had a walker. I was using a walker. I wasn't driving. I was, and my daughter was still in middle school, and I just said, I can't do this. I can't live like this anymore. And I said, and also the cost and stuff. It was totally free. I never saw a bill.
That's great.
And I said, got to do it now. And I'm glad I did.
Now, both of you being in the military, are there environmental factors that you can trace back for your Parkinson's?
Probably because I did that Michael J. Fox 23andMe study, that big Parkinson's study. Michael J. Fox paid for the 23andMe, and my MDS told me at the time that's the same genetic study that he would have sent me to that would have cost well over $300-400. And so it says I don't have the genetic marker for Parkinson's. So it had to have been environmental. And my dad was in the Air Force for 27 years. So my last 2, that was my hubby. My last 2 military bases were highly nuclear. And it could be anything from that. And this is during the Cold War, 80s. Yeah. And also the foam that the Air Force used to, or actually still uses, to put out jet fuel fires has been linked to Parkinson's. And
here's my VA file.
Yep.
Okay.
And like Camp Lejeune and the one he's talking about, I've never been to that one, but I'm sure. I think K.S. Sawyer, the one in Upper Michigan that closed down in the 90s, that's still contaminated because
Wow.
so.
Well, and then there's the burn pits in
Yeah.
Afghanistan.
My husband was exposed to the burn pits in Desert Storm. Now I even heard that I was contacted actually by someone that was doing studies on children of Vietnam veterans who were exposed to Agent Orange, which my dad was a Vietnam vet exposed to Agent Orange. Now, they're now looking at dependents of Vietnam vets, children.
Wow.
So, and I didn't let my dad know
You know,
that.
in my case, I joined the Army in 1977. I was at basic training in Fort McClellan, Alabama. I went to military police school. At the time, I didn't realize that Fort McClellan was used as a chemical. They made chemical weapons during the 70s, and there was a Monsanto plant that I think had leaked some chemicals into the environment. So when I was diagnosed, I was 56 when I was diagnosed. I was starting.
Are you cutting out, Tom?
Pardon me?
Are you cutting out? You're cutting out a little bit.
Oh, I'm cutting out.
Yep.
So I filed a suit 5 years ago against the VA alleging that my Parkinson's was caused by or accelerated by my time at Fort McClellan. Not thinking anything was going to happen because now I'm 65 now. I was there 40 some years ago, but they came back just a couple of weeks ago and found that I was 100% disabled. When they mean by 100% is they look at various symptoms like the leg is worse, the tremors in the leg is worse 10%, the arm 10%, this is 10%. So it added up that they came together 100% disabled.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So
and there is the official seal of the United States, and that's the letter that says they found it in my favor.
Because of the PACT Act. PACT Act just was.
I never thought they were going to, for me, I never thought there was going to be a connection because of the time lag between the two. But I was shocked that actually occurred
40 years ago.
And that was the first time he applied. That's very
right.
rare.
Well, and that was part of the PACT Act?
Yeah, that was part of the PACT Act.
But usually Parkinson's isn't covered.
Yeah, so for me, the PACT Act.
Yeah, but they.
Well, this is why I'm jumping on a call in 5 minutes. I'm going to have to drop off now, but I'm going on another webinar that talks about veterans and Parkinson's. And I think my studies, I can't find anything online that shows anybody else at Fort McClellan was found, they found in favor. So I'm hoping this opens the door to other veterans who serve there that have any type of neurological disease.
That's fantastic, Thomas.
Yeah, because, yeah.
So on that note, I'm going to jump off so I can join that other meeting. But Larry, it's been a privilege.
Go join the other one, and it's more entertaining too. I understand.
Sure, and I'll let you know what turns out.
Okay.
Yep. We love you, Tom.
Okay, guys. You have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody in listening land.
But yeah, that is amazing. I mean, that was the first time out. First time, and that's a good sign. And then I hope our next guest, like right after he found out that he got that, was a recently retired military officer who was at the same base, who did not get disability, who was denied disability, and so Tom hooked him up with his lawyers because it's a federal case. It doesn't have to be in the same state.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks that you guys have to get lawyers to fight those battles, but
I mean, and Tom fought for 5 years, so so he's like, now I can help others because he's setting a precedent. Said, hey, look over here. I've got this. Since he set that precedent, now it's going to make it so much easier for these other veterans.
Right. For sure.
And that's that's amazing thing. And it's like, and I don't know how. I don't know if I want to go. I'm like, go Tom, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to, but because I mean, where do I start? I mean, it's like, well, I know I can't. I can't go to West Germany. There's no more West Germany. That there's and Han Air Force Base is now a airport for offshoot of Frankfurt. So that's usually, and that's actually what they turned Casoyer into too. It's a county airport. So that's what they do with most Air Force bases, I think, because especially in rural areas like those,
or it'll shut them down and try to hide the toxins.
Oh yeah, that's what they did. Well, they did both actually in both places.
Yeah.
So, and I did. We lived off base. Sorry, I was an Army wife and an Air Force daughter, so it's base post. And we lived off base, and we lived near a farm. So I don't know if in Germany if they used paraquat or not in the 80s. I don't know, but I think that's where my second cousin got exposed to it, because the railroads out here, coal trucks and stuff, that they used to use paraquat to kill the weeds on the railroad, on the tracks.
We have on the PD Avengers website, there's a toxic chemicals page, and on there shows you every country that's banned it and what year they banned it.
Oh, okay.
So feel free to check on there.
Yeah.
Because it's we've got all sorts of cool resources on there like that.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So Lord only knows, but it's like there's actually a Facebook page. It's Casoyer exposure and hazardous material. I mean, it's and they're still fighting the Air Force. They're still, military is going to end up paying a lot of people a lot of money, I think.
So what were the first symptoms that you had?
I'm not tremor forward. I'm more the bradykinesia, this rigidity. My motor symptom wise would be my left finger would twitch. And it was kind of positional, if I put my arm out, it would stop. But if I put my arm up like this when I was sleeping, it would twitch. And then the handwriting, the micrographia, where it would start big and get really small. And I would have slowness, like everything would be slow on my right side, slow and heavy. It was more for me. How about you?
Very similar. I was gait dominant.
And my arm swing.
And arm swing, but like I couldn't figure out how to get the rhythm in my walk. So I was clomping and stomping, and then
I like that now.
And then after I was diagnosed, I realized, in retrospect, it's probably going on 10 years worth of collecting symptoms, from micrographia to depression, anxiety. Like people were asking my wife if I was doing okay because they were watching my Facebook photos, and I got the mask. And so they're like, he doesn't look like he's happy.
Resting Parkinson's face.
Yes. So
you have to actually think about it to smile.
Right. So it's
I was on drugs.
It wasn't until I got the trimmer in my hand, my right hand, that my son goes, "Dad, why is your hand shaking?" I said, "I don't know." He goes, "You should go see a doctor." He was like 7.
My daughter was 5 when I was officially diagnosed. Well, the symptoms started in 2011, and that's when I say that Parkinson's started. But officially, I wasn't diagnosed until 2014. Wow. And about six neurologists later, between Pennsylvania and Virginia. My age was, I was only 42, and gender, because it's more rare. It's more prevalent in men. I even after being on Cinemet for 3 years, we got stationed in Colorado, I had a neurologist that I don't think you have Parkinson's. I'm like, really? Because I wasn't presenting because I was on Cinemet.
Right.
And I'm
Yeah,
like,
I had a doctor who goes, "Oh, look, your trimmer went away."
yeah. And
I'm like, no.
I'm not presenting because I'm on the medicine. And I have been for 3 years. That's actually how I was diagnosed. He's like, okay, here's Cinemet. If it works, you got Parkinson's. It's pretty much.
Me too. Because I first went to a neurologist for MS, and he goes, "Good news is you don't have MS. Bad news is I think you might have Parkinson's. So we'll make an appointment with the Parkinson's neurologist. But in the meantime, take this, and if the tremors stop, then you've got Parkinson's. You've got Parkinson's." I'm like, "Oh, great."
Well, I honestly, by that time, I breathed a sigh of relief. Me and my husband both at the same time, because it's like, at least now we know what we're dealing with. Because
Right.
I was in school to get my master's for nursing, and I was a nurse for 20 years, and as like I knew something was wrong because of the cognitive stuff. And I'm like, they were all telling me it was physical, and I'm like, there's no, because word finding was not my norm.
Yeah.
I was like you, radio doing. I was a talker, I mean, I did radio off the top of my head, and I had my own show, and it's like, I had no problem talking, and I just knew that simple words getting stuck between here and my mouth was not a normal thing, and the short-term memory issues, not knowing the name of the greater tuberosity on the top of a femur was not a normal thing for me. And
it's a strange example, but I'll take it.
Yeah, well, it's being a nurse for 20 years, not knowing the top of a bone, worked on the orthopedic floor for 4 years, not knowing the simple, that's just a simple part of a bone, the main bone of the body, and it was just, I know these things, and it's like, even now it's even like word like a purse, or simple words get stuck.
Yeah.
And it just drives me nuts. I mean, that and balance, and
then I just start describing them. The thing that looks like the such and this.
Yeah,
and
the thing that goes in there, and then yeah, my husband has to play charades with me, or the fact that he's known me since high school, so that helps a little.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, and we reconnected, but oh my goodness gracious, yeah, that's the frustrating part of life.
Yeah. So, what do you do that you enjoy as far as Parkinson's activities?
I love dancing.
Okay.
Body Groove is a one I would love to. Actually DM'd back and forth Misty Tripoli. She is the creator of Body Groove, and I told her a lot of the movements that she does, it's not really choreography. It's moving your body the way your body feels. You don't really have to be a dancer, but I was a dancer, and that actually helped me. I had a physical therapist who specialized in Parkinson's in Colorado. Wish we had him out here, but anyway, she said that helped me with my balance, because she could tell that I was a dancer because of the way I would compensate.
Oh, nice.
And she said, I told Misty that a lot of her movements reminded me of PWR, the power moves. Those power moves that switch your brain over from the part that uses dopamine and doesn't use dopamine. That's what, or the power moves. That's why they work so well. And so I'd love to get her, like maybe with Rosenthal, or who does dance for PD. And get them together, because I would love to, or either that, or I would love to be a facilitator of Body Groove and get some classes going for Parkinson's. That would be and help start the community center. I don't want to, and the support group out here, because the nearest support group for anything really is like an hour and a half away.
Wow.
Yep. So, and the community center would be a nice place to, for a venue for support groups and education classes. I could help teach those, but I want the community to really be the heart of it and to run it. And I would kind of, help facilitate through APDA and Davis Finney, And
There's all sorts of good grants out there.
Yep.
But they take a lot of time and effort, but they can be rewarding.
Yeah. Well, like, I feel so overwhelmed at times, though. Like, where do you start?
You start. You just take it one step at a time, and it's kind of like PD Avengers. Like, we started with nothing, and we've created 8,000 members and 150 partners in 103 different countries, and we're just growing and growing and growing. And with each day, there's something else that we're going to do.
I have an event on Saturday, and I'm hoping to get more. This is going to be the community based. It's the Richlands Music, and so it's a music festival, Battle of the Bands, and
oh, cool.
They're going to have it's a all day event and a chili cook off.
Oh, chili cook off.
Yeah.
Now you're talking my language.
Yeah. So, and that's what I have to do back here. It's like flea markets and those kind of, farmers markets. And that's where that's where I reach the people and, back here, back home.
Yeah.
And and I have to put flyers up at the library and the post office and the grocery store. And that is more, the way it is done back here. Oh, let's see. Oh, there he goes.
We have a commenter.
Yep. From California. It just says, thank you. Thank you for the show.
California. I lived in Los Angeles twice and Central Coast, California once. All for about 12 years total, I suppose. Love it.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah, we're like I said, I spread this out. I put it on like 150 groups on Facebook between my personal page and the Park Right Here podcast Facebook page.
That's great.
Yeah, so I reach as many people as I can. So,
well, I will ask each and every one of them to become PD Avenger. It's free. Go to pdavengers.com, register there, and you do a monthly newsletter and activities for you to get involved.
Avenger. AVE.
Right there.
GERS.
With an S.
M. Just put it up there in the comments. Yep, that's definitely one of the trusted resources. We'll put it on our trusted resources on all our pages.
Oh, good.
Yep, definitely.
And right now there's a big paraquat push in the U.S. and in Australia. And there's
you mean a push to ban it, I hope?
Yes. So there's two different petitions, and then there's also public feedback due by the end of the year here in the U.S. So we're in like an open comment section.
Oh, good. That's about time.
Yeah, it's banned in 81 countries, but not the U.S. and Australia.
Why do you think that is? Is it lobbyists probably enough?
Oh yeah,
for us.
Nobody wants to try to figure out how to farm without the harsh chemicals, because the chemicals make it easier to farm. They don't want to rotate their crops and do all the things that are all natural that you can do.
Right. Well, I started going organic a long time ago because of the gut issue. I lost my had my gallbladder taken out in like 95, 96. And so I've been trying to watch out for my gut health ever since then, just from the GI standpoint, but way before Parkinson's. And then, but my GI doctor, my neurologist, my psychiatrist, everybody says organic if it, as much as possible. I know it's more expensive, but at least fruits and vegetables and milk and dairy if you can do it. So
yeah,
those are the the most, and I try to stay off of processed stuff. And the big one is artificial sweeteners.
I've given up artificial sweetener.
Yeah, just stevia. That's because that's natural. That's a plant.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only artificial sweetener. And I'd rather, and sugar, actually natural sugar, cane sugar is better for you than any of that other stuff.
Jose says he grows some at home. Stevia.
Oh wow. Awesome. Veggie and fruits. Yeah, we started a little garden here 2 years ago, and then we now just bought the land in between, and we bought the
holler.
Yeah, no, on the other side, and actually we bought the house next door. My son and his wife are moving there because we're having our first grandbaby in December.
That's
yep,
great.
I'm gonna be a mama. Yep.
That's great.
Yep. And yeah, they're gonna need help. I love my daughter-in-law. And my son, but they're gonna need a lot of help. So much so that we're
so that'll give you something to focus on.
Yes. Oh, that's for sure. But the fun part of it is that his father, my ex, is coming to work on the house, and my husband is not very thrilled about that because it's like 50, well, maybe 100 feet in front of our front porch. Yeah, I mean it's been 28 years. I don't know what has he got to worry about.
Right.
But anyway, my son's 30, and my daughter is a senior this year.
Wow, that's amazing. My son is a grade 9.
Wow.
I know.
Oh, just entered high school, huh?
Yes.
It goes by very, very quickly.
Yesterday he was 3 years old.
Yep. Yesterday my daughter was a baby, but yeah, now she's almost 40 at 17. Wow. She's 17 going on 40, and my son is 30 going on 2.
Wow. Jose's asking me how my DBS is, and Jose, we were talking about it earlier. It's really good. It's really it's changed my life. I went from 21 pills a day to a half pill in the morning and a half pill at night. Yay! And I can walk now without my walking sticks. I can drive again. I can, just enjoy life.
Yep. And I had mine in 2021. Yep. Well, I can't believe it's been a year for you already.
I know.
It seems like
flies when you're having fun.
I know. It seems like it was a couple months ago. And you were like laying back, and it seems like a year ago for me, and it was been 2, 3. Oh my goodness.
Oh. All right. Well, this is awesome.
We appreciate so much you giving us your time.
Oh, sure.
It's been great talking to you. And
it's great talking to you too.
I feel special now that I have met my mentor. It's good to reconnect. No, you have been a great mentor to me. And what is your next project? What are you doing? What's your future?
I was recording a podcast this morning for the Brian Grant Foundation.
Oh, okay. So what are they up to?
Next month, we're doing a 4-part series on the environment and pesticides and stuff and Parkinson's. Oh, awesome. And we've got some great guests. And Brian and his mom are on it because Brian's dad was stationed at Camp Lejeune.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was on Brian's podcast and he was on ours.
Oh, okay.
Did a double switcheroo. Me and Tom. Tom and I, we were both on. Brian is awesome.
Yeah. And let's see what else. I'm also doing before the World Parkinson Congress, every city they go to, they train the city about how to be Parkinson's ready. So the hotel workers and the emergency workers. Now we're doing that in Vancouver right now, not because the conference is coming here, but we're just branching out and trying to to do it in different places. So I'm leading the education part of that with a physiotherapist. And so the two of us are going around. And so we've done the first 2 trainings, and now we've got, I think, 7 more.
Wow.
We've got bus drivers and taxi drivers, and it's great. It's
Awesome.
we went to the airport last week, trained the airport workers.
Wow. So when is the next Congress? Because this will be my first one, because I am going to go.
Congress will be in 2026.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's in May, and it's in Phoenix.
Oh, wow. So we'll get to go. We'll see each other in Phoenix again.
Yes.
Old hey.
Our old hangout.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see each other before that. 2026 is too far away. So.
Well, and at the end of November, I'll be at the All-In Conference by PMD Alliance in Austin.
Oh, okay. PMD Alliance. I'll have to. I haven't looked at them in a while.
Yeah, so I'll be speaking there.
Where are they going to be?
Speaking there. Sorry.
Where are they going to be?
Austin.
Oh, yes. My home state. I was born in San Antonio.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I haven't been to Austin. I don't think I've been to Austin in since I was knee high to a grasshopper.
So all sorts of cool stuff happening.
That's awesome. That's great. Yeah, they didn't have a Davis Finney conference this year because of the 20 years. Davis Finney's 20 years their foundation this year. Yep. So.
Well, and in April, we're looking for volunteers. In April, we're going to be doing our Spark the Night again. We need people to reach out to businesses and organizations to light up the blue for Parkinson's.
Yeah, I was going to do that because that'd be really cool. Because we have this up on the on the mountain up on it. They have a Christmas tree.
Cool!
And it lights up. So maybe we can do that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We could light that up all blue that same night. That's what I was thinking. I was going to ask the town council tomorrow about it.
That'd be great.
Because I read that on the email.
See, that's why it pays to be a PD Avenger. You get that email, you get it up to date in one fell swoop.
Yep. Awesome. So PD Avengers, sign up, everybody. And it's free, doesn't cost you anything, and all it does is cost you an email or 2 a month. 1 email a month. That's it.
We just need numbers so we can go to organizations and have some sway and let them open the door.
Yeah,
I got 8,000 people behind me now. If we had 10,000 people, it'd be like, hey, they just listen to me more.
Oh yeah, especially you get 100,000 people and whoo.
Yeah.
Yep. So thank you so much for your time, Larry.
Thanks, Katrina.
And take it easy and stay out of trouble.
I will. Be well.
Be well too. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.